of awesome, I'm Ava J, and this is Bookish Pixie. So some writers are the blessed kind of writers that have a ton of book ideas that are constantly popping in their head, and they have this long list that they're always adding to, and they know what they're gonna write for the next 10 books and basically never run out of ideas. I am not one of those writers. Figuring out what to write next for me is often the scariest part of the process. Because the truth is, every time I'm faced with trying to figure out what to write next, a part of me worries I'm not going to figure it out. And I mean, thus far it hasn't been a problem because I've always figured something out, but it has forced me to develop a process so that I can figure out some ideas. So this is how I come up with book ideas. So my ideas tend to come from a bunch of different sources. The first is a list that I keep adding to that is sort of a cross between writing goals and ideas. The list is a bunch of bullet points, and each bullet point is usually a vague sentence or so of either an idea or something that I would like to eventually write. So some examples on my list are characters with anxiety issues, characters with disabilities, and characters with chronic illnesses. You will note that there is a running theme and that they tend to focus on characters. Because for me, that's where the story tends to start, with the character. There are exceptions, of course, like with Beyond the Red. I actually came up with the setting first and then added in a character I'd already created but hadn't written about. But generally for me, before I can really start to plot out anything or really think about a story too much, I need to be connected to a character. Without that connection, I find it really difficult to dive into a story, even if I'm just brainstorming. Another thing I like to do when I'm coming up with book ideas is to mash different ideas together. So again, with Beyond the Red, I'd originally pitched it as the girl of fire and thorns on a technologically advanced alien planet. I also just like to combine things that I like, so for example, like technology and action and romance and monarchies and whatever my heart desires at the moment. It's also important for me to write books that I would want to read. So sometimes that means a book that takes place on an alien planet that has at least one alien point of view and a clashing of cultures. Or sometimes that means seeing aspects of myself represented that aren't frequently represented in the media. Sometimes it means X-Men like superpowers or Avatar: The Last Airbender type abilities. I basically take inspiration from everything that I like and then mash it all together. The thing is, for me, even after I come up with a really awesome idea, there is no guarantee that the book is actually going to be written. I've been known to plot out entire stories and write 1,000 to even 15,000 words into it and then decide, I'm not interested. Usually for me, I don't consider a work in progress an actual work in progress until I've hit 10,000 words. And as I mentioned, I have hit that milestone and then decided a project wasn't working, but that happens much less frequently than my other 1 to 9,000 word false starts. So for me, figuring out the next book idea is always a scary part of the process because I can't really trust the idea until I've really gotten into it. But that said, it is exciting and it is fun, and I look forward to doing it many, many times in the future. So that's all I got for today. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys next week.